They say all good things must come to an end, and that is true for us here at the Great Debaters Contest. We are at our final regional debates from Nakuru County. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Mariam Bishar. Controversy seems to be our middle name here at the Great Debaters Contest, and this debate proved just that. We were asking whether polygamy should be embraced in modern society. We began with Jabel Nzomo of the proposing team reminding us that polygamy is a way for all cultures to learn to embrace each other.
When a man is engaged to more than 4 wives, for example, definitely out of the 4 wives, they're going to be of different ethnicity backgrounds. This will bring about people together, sharing of culture, to enable people to appreciate one another's culture.
Mutoro Innocent of the opposition began us off strongly by reminding us that we have population problems as it is. What would be the case if we embraced polygamy?
To my first point, polygamy, it leads to social evils in the society. Ask me why. When you talk about the polygamous marriage, if you marry so many wives, it means you are going to have more children. Even the children, they need their basic needs. You are not providing. They're going to be involved in evil things such as crime for them just to earn a living to survive.
The rebuttals came in fast and strong, first by Cynthia Marie of the proposing team, who stated that with polygamy, every woman was guaranteed to get married.
These days, we get that many women are getting work. Therefore, don't women work these days? Do they not get the economic right that they have these days? Aren't they not allowed to get money and also help in the family? We see that the ratio of women to men these days is high. Therefore, we can see that women will not go unmarried, and therefore the family lineage will not be expanded. But then, with polygamy, we see that all women get married.
The next comeback came from Ian of the opposition team, who reminded us that with polygamy, we stand to spread STIs faster than in the previous times.
There's high cost of maintaining and managing the family. You find a man who cannot even support himself is put up to a task of supporting the rest of the family, which consists of more than one wife. Polygamy is prone to STIs. You find you marry a woman, you don't know the background nor where the woman is from.
We had very powerful closing statements, first from Sean Armstrong, who reminded us that polygamy is inherently African, and changing our ways would be the same as trying to change a capitalist to a communist.
It is your choice to know whether or not you will enter that marriage, whether or not you're ready to deal with the challenges that come with polygamous marriage. So the key thing is freedom of choice. People already carry it out. It has been instilled in them in cultural Kenya. And trying to change them is as good as trying to change a communist to a capitalist. It's not going to work.
Our final words in this debate came from the lovely Waris Kimathi, who made a final case against polygamy.
Let's say if a man has married wives in the rural areas and he has 6 wives and the man is the sole breadwinner and he dies, what will happen to all those wives and all those children? Even if there are no children, let's say for example, but the wives, what will happen to them? They die in poverty.
We expected a lot of interesting comments from you and a lot of engaging of the audience. That was still not achieved, but we appreciate what you did. Nakuru High School, I would want to combine Mutoro and Ian and generally say that we were not convinced by you being the first 2 speakers, especially, Mutoro, you're pace setter. you have the confidence. You can come over on stage and really command the audience attention. But when you come now to deliver, there's a lot of questions and expectations that were not coming out as well. Sacho High School, I would want to commend you as a team, good teamwork, and you did it was a well done research to you as a team.
Cynthia, you're a good speaker, but you may need to work on your pacing. You're super fast, and so the audience might miss out on something that you have said. But it also works for you because you can say so much in very short time. Okay, so but think about how you pace, because your audience will pay attention to that. Sean Armstrong, very composed. And I like your mastery of topic as well, and the kinds of examples that you give. Nakuru High School, I think I'll just be general. You as a team may need to work on your style and presentation. You know, when you walk to the stage and you look bored, then we also get bored. You know, so you may want to excite your audience even by, depicting that excitement as a speaker. You may also need to work on your mastery of language, across the team.
So to both of the teams on stage, good job. And from the judges, Nakuru High School got 59% and Sacho High School got 69.3%. Let's give them a hearty clap. So, gentlemen and lady from Sacho High School, congratulations. You hopefully will proceed to the next round. And Nakuru High School, thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best in your future debates. Security is an issue that is on every Kenyan's mind. So we ask if civilians should be allowed to carry arms. To start us off in this debate, we begin with Daisy Nyambura of the proposing team, who reminded us that it is imperative that we feel secure in our own nation.
Nobody feels secure anymore. Going to church has become a matter of suspicion. Shopping is no longer enjoyable. Schools are no longer considered safe, for example. If the Kenyan government gives Kenyans a chance to own arms, then we are in charge of our safety, we are in charge of our defense, and therefore we give Kenyans a feeling of security.
The opposition began with a thought-provoking question from Daniel Mburua, who asked us, would you feel safe if you knew your neighbor was armed?
Will it be safer knowing that your neighbor has a gun, or will you feel safer knowing that only the police are in the custody of a gun? We all saw the aftermath of the tribal clashes and what it did to our country. We all saw that they were using crude weapons to fight each other. Would we like this to repeat again?
The rebuttal from Hilda Chebet was a case-in-point example of the Westgate scenario where civilians who are armed managed to save many lives.
In our country, in the recent time, we had a case where police officers shot several people in a bar. Wouldn't you want yourself to come there and protect yourself? The civilians should be allowed to own the weapons. For example, in the Westgate attack, a few people were able to be saved because some civilians showed up with guns. They were able to save some of the children and women in pain.
The next rebuttal came from a young man by the name of Ignatius Kioi, who reminded us that guns do pose a threat to young ones.
If you had guns and kept it in your house, how do you know that your children will not use a gun? You know that we all know that children like experimenting with new things to them. Once a child finds the gun, how do you know he'll not show it off to his other friends and by mistake even finish them off?
We always look forward to the closing statements, and from Christine Kamau, we heard that we should allow people to have the psychological satisfaction that comes with being armed.
Arms have been demanded of people. People are being asked to return the arms they have, but they are not willing to oblige. However, they say they do this because they know if they give up their arms, they are endangering their own safety. Their property will be put at the risk. So why not legalize these arms? Give them the psychological satisfaction that actually we are not going against the law.
The final closing statement was from Martin Munga, and he reminded us of the case in point in Baragoi, where civilians misused firearms to kill many policemen.
Policemen are not able to maintain security if the residents are not able to give out their weapons. Take an example of Baragoi. The policemen went to maintain security there, but what happened instead? They were shot by those people.
I think I'll make my comments general and encourage a few people that I saw that have a great potential. Daisy, you're a great speaker. Hilda as well, and Christine. So if you really work well and work on just delivery, you can make great speakers. That goes also to Ignatius. I mean you can ignite, right? You're a good speaker as well. Martin, I don't know what happened this time around. You were a bit disoriented, but remember that you have the potential as well. Same to Daniel. However, Daniel, you came on board and I felt like you just took a point from these people and dwelt on it. We didn't hear your points on this. This topic, if you're given 2 minutes to just come on board and we just tell you, speak about this, you can get points out of that. That why would I encourage someone to carry a gun? Why would I not? Are we flowing? So we gave you this topic doing very well that you can easily get points out of this. However, to both teams, I'll say fair and all the best to the winning team.
For Marymount, that was talking about civilians being allowed to carry guns. And if you've been following the debates, religious leaders, especially the Christian leaders, have come forth, especially after the attack in Mombasa, and were asking themselves, should we even ask then the worshippers to carry arms? That should have been something that you should have talked about. But Daisy, you started off very well, a very good beginning, composed and calm, and you set the stage for us. Rongai boys, Martin, again, we would have loved to hear examples of where peace has worked, because you asked the question, if not arms, then what? And you talked about peace. Are there instances where that peace has prevailed and has worked, and so there is no need for people to carry arms? And so that was missing.
Rongai boys had 57% from the judges, and Marymount had 64.5%. That means Marymount will proceed to the next level. We congratulate both teams. Give them a hand. We now go on a short commercial break. Be sure to stay with us. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back to the show. We now have Nakuru girls facing off with Anesta boys, and their debate is on whether African countries should be allowed to solve their own problems. We've seen this debate handled before. Let's see if they do it justice. The powerful rhetoric started off right away with Liberata Mbua giving us perhaps our most memorable statement of the day. If aid equals development, then Africa would be the most developed continent on the earth.
If international aid was to develop a place, then Africa would be the most developed continent in the whole world. This is because we receive a lot of international aid, but at the end of it all, we remain as poor as we were before. This is because the international aid is meant to corrupt the African elite and to instill the beggar mentality in our youth. Thus, African youth continue growing lazier and lazier as days go by, and a continent cannot develop when the youth are lazy.
Our first opposer was Alan Gikonyo, and he reminded us that telecommunications, entertainment, and tourism are some of the most heavily invested industries by foreigners, yet they are also our biggest breadwinners.
Now, for example, in the research that was carried out in 2008, telecommunication, entertainment industry, and even the tourism contributes almost close to half of what is contributed to our economy. What does it mean? This means that And these industries are controlled and managed by people from outside Africa. What does it mean? It means that if we bring the same people who are making wonders, who are making big catches in telecommunication industries, in entertainment industry, and also tourism, then they'll transfer the same to even other sectors.
I go to my next point, which is the judicial system. Africa is said to have the worst judicial system. That is why ICC was invited to Kenya and involved to solve the 2007 and to 2008 election violence. But till now, has the solution been found? 7 years down the line and no solution is found.
Daniel Mukunda was next, and he reminded us that Africa is still relatively young and should get guidance from more experienced nations.
Africa, we need more experience from more experienced powers. For instance, most African countries got their independence in 1960s, while the first world countries got their independence in 200 years plus. So why don't we allow them to guide us and to lead us?
Naomi Mumbi was clear, concise, and straight to the point. There is no aid that comes without strings attached.
Every time you wake up, there's a terror attack somewhere. Have you wondered where these weapons used to attack Africa come from? These are the sophisticated weapons that are produced and manufactured in the most developed countries, which are definitely not in Africa. So, how do they say that there's insecurity in Africa? They produce the weapons are used against us, and then they come trying to solve our problems. We have seen Africa trying to find solutions to its own problems. For example, the African Union has formed the AMISOM, which has been helping to control the situation in Somalia, and I can gladly say that they are doing a good job.
The opposition's final statement came from Kelvin, who reminded us that if we take the step to cut off links from other nations, then our economies will simply crumble.
In Africa, most of the countries depend on tourism. And if we cut our links with the outside world, the tourism goes low and the GDP goes low. That means the economy of Africa crumbles down. Second, insecurity problems. Take countries like Sudan, take countries like Nigeria, take countries like Somalia. Africa has tried, but it has failed. So we need countries from outside Africa to help us, to supply us with the ingenuity that we need to control the insecurity, to control the rebels in some countries.
Across the board, I would like to say that I needed to hear why Africans fought very hard for independence, the nature of problems that we face. It was good to hear more examples. I would expected just more examples, not just structural and economical. We have a lot of issues that come on board as well, but you tried your best to do that. Do we have the ability from the team that was supposed to support this, and has this helped, or is neo-colonialism still at play? We also wanted to hear such examples coming on board. Naomi, great use of examples, good tackling of questions. You're a great speaker and keep it up. And I thought, in fact, you should have reshuffled. I thought you would be even coming in to sum up, because you came up and strengthened the team as well as a third speaker.
Nakuru girls, Liberata, a good beginning, and I must commend your composure. Check pronunciation. We don't say elite, okay? We say elite, okay? So that confuses the audience. They're wondering, okay, what word is that? Naomi Mumbi, I loved your mastery of topic. I think I listened to you and I also learned a lot. And, you know, for a number of the things that you were saying, I would see somebody who's well-read and well-prepared. Anesta High School, I was hoping that your team could actually make reference to the abduction of the girls in Chibok in Nigeria and the Boko Haram, and the fact that the international community has come in very strongly to help them. Look at the kind of surveillance equipment that the US and British has actually taken to Nigeria. Look at the number of forces they have sent there to try and trace these girls. That's an example to show that maybe as Africans we are not ready, you know, to solve our own problems. That it's a month later and Nigeria has not been able to do anything to be able to get these girls. I mean, it's all over, you know. So I was actually wondering, what's happening. There's free Wi-Fi in Nakuru, isn't it? So I was hoping that you would actually make use of that in Google. Okay, all the best to the two teams.
A gentleman from Anesta High School garnered from the judges 59.5%. Let's give them a hand. And today the ladies are the victors. They got 64%. Let's clap for them. So for this round of the debate, Nakuru girls take it, but good job to both the teams, and we'll see you next time on the Great Debaters Show. From Nakuru County, the following schools have proceeded to the inter-regional debates. Naivasha Girls, Sacho Boys, Utumishi Boys, Singore Girls, and finally, Moi Forces Academy Lanettes.
The winning school will get an ICT chill-out zone with the widescreen TV, computers, webcams, and internet connection. The teacher from the winning school gets 100,000 shillings courtesy of Chase Bank. The winning students each get a tablet courtesy of Safaricom, a gift hamper from Unilever, and a gift hamper from mimi.co.ke. And together, they all win the title, The Great Debaters. May the best school win. It's a wrap for the Nakuru County Regional Debates. We hope you've enjoyed them this far. And next week, we bring it home to Nairobi County. Be sure to stay with us and watch the next debate. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.